Welcome, food travelers. I'm Micah.
And I'm Simon.
We're here in another day in sunny San Diego and heading to 100 Seafood Grill Buffet for dinner.
Yeah, this is from what you've told me, Mike, a pretty popular place. I've actually never heard of this place, but with a seafood bar, grill and buffet, I'm always excited to try those, so I was happy to try.
Yeah, this place is open daily, except for Tuesdays, and on the weekdays, they are open for dinner only from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., and on the weekends, they are open from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m., and on the weekends, they do serve dinner daily. For this recording, we actually came for the Lobster Buffet, which is Lobster Thursdays.
And actually, I was pretty excited to hear about that. It was kind of interesting going through the whole thing, and as you'll see further in the video, grabbing the lobster was kind of a different way of going about it than I'm used to.
Yeah, this lobster grabbing situation was not the most ideal, and for the price, at this time of recording was $54.99 a person for Lobster Thursdays. I thought it was a little bit expensive because you can't get that many lobsters when you go to line up, because they'll only give you half a lobster each time.
Yeah, it was kind of an odd situation. I definitely understood why they did it because with buffets you'll have a group of individuals who'll come and grab pretty much everything right once it comes out, and so I know for that price that they were charging that they wanted to make sure people actually had a chance to actually go get it. But in my case, after the whole thing, I think I've only ended up eating maybe just one of the half lobster tails because it just took a long time for it to come out.
Yeah, I think I pretty much had only half a lobster myself. I just didn't think it was worth it to stand in line that long just to wait for a lobster. I mean, if they would give you at least like a full lobster each time, it might be worth it, but there's so many items in this seafood grill buffet that it didn't seem like it was the only thing that was missing out on, but for that extra premium price, it just didn't seem like it was worth it for me.
Yeah, I agreed. It was, you wish you had the opportunity to go grab more a little bit quicker, but it seemed like they were on this kind of delayed cooking schedule where they would come out, everything would be gone, they'd have to wait until they cooked some more and then provide it again, and they were just kind of never ahead where you could just go in and pretty much grab a lobster whenever you felt like we wanted one. In terms of the layout, it was a very kind of central location where you'd have a central seafood station, and around that station to the left and right of it, you'd have a dessert station on one side, and then the other side you kind of have all the other buffet food items, whether it be the salads or other kind of dishes to get.
Yeah, there's also like the grill section where you have all the meats and all the like prime rib and everything too, and there's also like all the sushi stations that you saw earlier in the video, and they had a huge section of seafood. I mean, for a local buffet station, I think it's pretty good, maybe even better than some of the Vegas buffets that we went to.
Yeah, in terms of the size of the place, it was actually rather large too. Kind of around all the stations where all the seating was, so you were kind of surrounding the stations. We sat kind of in the back, so we kind of had to go through this really short hallway into our seats. So we didn't get to directly see the buffet itself, but it wasn't like it was a far walk or anything to go to a station to grab anything.
Yeah, I think the layout for this restaurant is done really, really well. Like Simon said, everything is surrounding the buffet, so it doesn't matter where you're sitting. Even in the back, it's only a short walk to get the food. And pretty much most of the seating is within eye view, so you can see when they do bring new stuff out. And they also have a hot grill station, which is the teppanyaki, but unfortunately I did not have a chance to try this one as there was so much other stuff that I wanted to try. How about you, Simon? Did you get to try that one?
No, I missed on that too. I think my focus was mostly getting the snow crab legs, which I really did enjoy. Those are actually on par, if not better, than some of the Las Vegas buffets. So that was something that I was pleasantly surprised with, and I know for myself, I had to go at least 3 or 4 rounds to get crab legs. So that definitely was something that I enjoyed.
Yeah, another item I really enjoyed from this buffet was the baked shrimp. I think it was like a baked cheese shrimp, right, Simon?
Yeah, that was really delicious. I enjoyed that myself. And you'll see the shots coming up of our plates, and you'll see the shrimp itself. And that thing was delicious. It was butterflied right down the middle, and then they put the cheese on top with some, I forgot what kind of sauce. It probably something similar to a mayonnaise type sauce, plus some dressings on top of it. But it was just delicious. Taking the bite in, it was nice and sweet and a little bit of the savoriness. It just tasted really good.
I think I probably took at least 2 or 3 plates of those, and I think that's one thing nice with being a buffet is you can take as much as you want, and you can also limit as much as you want for items that you actually don't enjoy as much. I remember there was a girl who was at the buffet just grabbing plates and plates of the oysters. I personally think the oysters was as fresh as they could be, so I didn't grab that many of them, but she sure enjoyed those.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to what I was trying to say earlier about the lobsters, where I believe those oysters, once they replaced the empty station for them, somebody would just come in and grab them a whole bunch and kind of empty it once again.
Yeah, and you can see in these shots the lobster, it's not that it feels like it was kind of malnourished in my opinion, and that's why I feel like the lobster portion of this buffet was not really worth it to me. I think coming to this buffet on any other day would be a great experience, but not coming here specifically for this lobster.
Yeah, they were definitely on the smaller side. When we went down to the Boston Lobster place down in Orlando, and if you want to see that episode, come check out the channel. That was a lobster buffet where we had lobster after lobster after lobster, and the pricing was very nice. So, in my mind, I was kind of expecting maybe something similar to that when I heard we're coming to this lobster buffet, but it wasn't quite that. And in terms of getting the lobster, you only had one way to actually get the lobster prepared, which was them having it baked and then getting the half of the lobster itself.
When I saw this buffet and I saw, they have a lobster day, I said, wow, okay, this will be a really good comparison to our experience in Orlando. And yeah, it definitely was not the same type of experience where you could get full lobsters and get as many as you want to. And there was definitely a less line to get lobsters over there. But I mean, there's to compensate it. They have so much more food over here, and even that prime rib was tender. They actually have knives to cut into it too, but as later on as you watch the video, you can see it's so tender you don't really need a knife. Simon just bites into it.
Yeah, it's that was pretty spot on comment, Micah. I mean, outside of the lobster itself, the buffet was great. I would definitely come and eat at his place again. I get a chance to visit San Diego once again. It's definitely well worth it. Definitely, if I could have paid the lower price without having to pay for the lobster price, it would even be that much more worth it, because the other foods there, it was just very good, nice and fresh. There wasn't anything that you kind of find at some buffets where it kind of seemed it just sat out for a long time, or it's something that was a little bit of an older ingredient that just seemed like, should I really eat that? But overall, it was very, very good.
Yeah, especially with all the selections that they have. I mean, not just the meats or the seafood. I mean, it is a seafood grill bar, so you do expect to have a lot of seafood. So some of those other options besides lobster and snow crab legs, they do have like oyster, shrimp, mussel, tuna, scallops, salmon, crawfish, and even more than that as you watch this video. And as for this dessert section, I don't think it was as great as the seafood section. I think this is not their primary focus, it's just something that they have. But I mean, in terms of the portion size of these cakes, I think they're pretty good size.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. You can tell the dessert wasn't their main focus, as they focused more on the main dishes. And kind of looking at it, I ate so much that I didn't have that much space left for dessert, which is usually doesn't happen in terms of not trying to save enough space for dessert. But in the end, I didn't really actually have that many desserts. I just kind of had some gelato, which was kind of nice that they had, because it's definitely easy for a buffet place to kind of offer soft serve rather than gelato if they want to kind of make it a little easier for them to serve a type of ice cream. So in my case, I ended up only having some gelato rather than a whole bunch of different desserts itself.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat with Simon. I was pretty full already by the time it was time for desserts. One thing I did have is the creme brulee, and I thought it was nice that this buffet had a lot of Asian desserts available. As I think this is more of an Asian style buffet, but it was nice to see those options and not just having Western specific items. Another thing I thought was nice was to have the pecan flavored ice cream, or gelato here. That seems more like a southern thing, but not many places actually have that flavor.
Yeah, and the gelato was actually pretty good. I had the one I really enjoyed was the watermelon. It had a nice flavor to it. There's times where I've either had watermelon flavored ice creams or something else, and there's kind of this, it's kind of tough to describe, but it's a synthetic flavor where it doesn't quite taste natural. In this case, it didn't have that. It was, it tasted like a fresh lobster, or not lobster, I should say, a watermelon. So, it was nice and refreshing. And especially since, during the day it was sunny kind of the entire day, and pretty much our whole trip down in San Diego, it was great sunny weather. So for me, having watermelon in sunny weather is just kind of things that go together really well. And so I really appreciated having a watermelon that tasted really good for that gelato. And to wrap up the episode is our notables, and for this episode, our notable is actually the grilled butterfly shrimp with cheese on top. This was just a really great combination of flavors, the sweetness of the shrimp, some of that saltiness from the cheese, and the texture, just nice and great bite just all together. Very tasty, definitely something we would recommend if you come here to try, and if they offer it, definitely grab a handful of these as they are very delicious. If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.